I might have been down, not out. It's on sight, you gon' figure that out. And I might have been down, not out. Only one thing I gotta know now is, are you ready for the comeback? You know we don't want that. Let me see them hands up all the way front back. Yeah, it's the comeback. Are you ready for the comeback?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Molveno. For those of you who were with us yesterday, it was like this, cloudy. Today we have glorious sunshine, and we have for you the final of the short track series that's taken us all around Europe. I'm joined today, my name's Paul Groves, by the way. I'm joined by Nicole Walters, who knows very well all about XTERRA. Nicole, welcome once again to the studio.
Thank you very much. It's really great to be here, to be commentating again on the, well, first up we've got the women's race today.
Well, women's race, yes, and there's quite a bit of money to be won today. But look at this, it really is beautiful. But during the race you'll see the sunshine. Who are we going to see today? Well, Elise Patiers, she has led the rankings so far. First, the short track in Zittau, second in Prachatica. She's here and she's looking strong for the overall win. Loane Duvoisin from Switzerland, first in Zonrouille, France, second in Zittau. Yeah, be interesting to see what she could do today. She didn't have the best of races yesterday. And Solène Billouin, our new XTERRA world champion, consistently racing third at each of the races. We're going to hear a few words from the athletes themselves.
This is the last short track of the season, so I'm very excited. I love this kind of race, very short, very fast, and it can be very nice to race with the other girls in this place. I'm very happy to be there and to see if I'm able to keep my first place.
I think I must win on Sunday if I will like to win the world ranking. I don't know because I don't have do the bike or the run course, so I don't know how it's technical or not. And yes, but I don't know. I know I'm able to have a lot of power in the bike in these short distance. So yeah, it's good, but I don't know how it's the level of technical. So if it's too much technical, it's not the best for me. But I think those girls say me, okay, I think it's good for you.
So it's the last race, last short track of the season. So I don't want to have regrets, and yeah, I will try to do my best and not, to push really hard.
Let's have a quick look at the course. Nicole.
Yes, the athletes today, they're starting off with a 400-metre swim. That's 2 laps of 200 metres. And then they'll head out onto the mountain bike course. We've got an 8-kilometre course today. Lots of punchy climbs in there, a few technical sections with some jumps and some drops. Lots of features to keep the athletes interested. So that's 4 laps of 2 kilometres. So we'll be able to see them multiple times throughout that lap. Then they'll be heading back into transition again, and they'll be heading out on to the run course. So they've got a 3-kilometre run to do today. That's 2 lots of 1.5 kilometres. It's following a similar route to the bike course with some really steep climbs. This is really going to test the athletes today. And then making their way into the finish.
And let's have a quick look at the overall rankings there. Elise Patier, 280 points. During the course of the race, we're going to try and explain how the dynamics might work out, but look how close the points are there. And here we are. Just look at that. It's completely different from yesterday. For all of those athletes at home who are, or in the hotels still, because there's a lot of athletes still hanging around in this wonderful venue. It was cloudy yesterday. It wasn't cold, but the sunshine wasn't there. Now, look at the sunshine.
We've got such a beautiful day here today, and I think the athletes will be really enjoying racing in a little bit of warmth today. Still in their wetsuits. The water temperature, we get
I think it was 16.5, yes.
6.5 degrees for the water, so still wearing their suits. And I think we'll see quite an interesting race today.
We will. There was some discussion amongst them as to the stronger swimmers. How much time does it take to get a wetsuit off? And is that time going to be something you can trade in by not wearing the wetsuit?
So they've got a 400-metre swim, so it's going to be around sort of 4.5 to 5 minutes, I'd have thought, for some of the faster swimmers. And time-wise, I mean, you're going to lose time if you get cold, so it's going to be a toss-up between whether or not you want to lose that time being cold and versus taking it off. I mean, they're well practiced at taking their suits off, so they'll be pretty swift in that transition and that changeover.
It's not so much that, it's the potential of making an error and the wetsuit not going in the box and getting a penalty, which obviously they don't want. Start list, let's have a look at that. In case you didn't quite catch all of that, Solène Benoit, our new European world champion, wearing number 1. Sandra Meyerhofer didn't quite get the result she wanted yesterday, wearing number 2. Alizée Patier is from France, she's in number 3. Leslie Patterson, she's joined us today, wearing number 4. Marta Mendito, number 5. Ségolène Leberon, number 6. Daisy Davies, watch out for her in the swim. I'm sure Nicole's going to talk to us through Daisy Davies' performances. Jindriska Zemanova, Lizzie Orcher, Susie Snyder, Karina Basler, Beatrix Ferreira, Solène Marnoni, one of the age groupers who was second overall in the age group race. We have Loane Duvoisin, Katie Button, Amanda Felder, also one of the strong swimmers, not quite the swim she had yesterday. She wanted a better performance there. We also have Eveline Trepte, Lorena L, Charlene Marchetti, Stepanka Bisova, Maria Kajega, also very strong in the swim. So we can expect to see Maria,
Amanda and Daisy, yeah.
And then we have Kate Bramley, Perrine Goldman, Marketa Barakova, and Katerina Jezkova. We've got a mixture of, looking at the start list, Nicole, we've got a few of the age groupers being pushed up into this.
Yeah, so the athletes have been invited either based on performance in previous short track races or their performance at the World Championships race yesterday. So we've got a really competitive field here today, and it should be some really fast racing.
This is an invitation-only race as well.
It is, yes.
So we've had 4 races. This is the 4th one. €10,000. That's the prize money for each of the races, with a €20,000 bonus at the end of the series. Bit of a twitch there.
And they're off. So beach start for today's swim. We'll probably see Daisy Davies looking to push on this swim here. She was out a long way in front yesterday.
And she held on to that lead quite a way into the race.
Yeah, so she'll be wanting to put some time into the other girls here, just to get a bit of a buffer going into that bike.
It was rather interesting watching her as a relative novice to XTERRA racing. She performed extremely well yesterday.
She did. She had a fantastic race yesterday. It was only her second XTERRA event that she's done, and to come out there in such tough conditions and to be racing at the front with some quite experienced athletes, she did a really good job. And I think we can perhaps already see her starting to pull away a little bit.
It's a good stroke, isn't it? Nice and powerful underwater.
Yeah.
And Maria Kajega, she's not quite in the position we thought she would be. She's got to try and move up as close as she can towards Daisy Davies' feet and get around the first buoy. So there's 2 buoys. Zogs, once again, great supporters of XTERRA, one of the main sponsors. They're providing lots of support to the athletes and, of course, lots of kit. Right turn, there's a second buoy, and then they're onto the beach, and it's one of the, they call it an Australian turn, don't they?
Yeah, so we'll see the athletes again when they exit the water. We'll be able to see what position they're all in, but that lead looks to be stretching out quite a long way now, so Daisy's really pushing on here, and we'll probably see some of the other athletes looking to try and minimise that gap a little bit. So I think Sandra had a really good swim yesterday as well. She was quite close to the front of the race, so she'll perhaps be looking to push on and not lose too much time here as well.
We're watching the athletes perform way into the red. This is a distance which is almost a super sprint. All their training has been focused on what we would equate to be a standard distance race. So asking them to up the heart rate and the effort, particularly after the party last night, because these athletes raced the World Championships yesterday, and lots of them were partying until quite early in the morning. That's why we've got a late start today, which is really for their benefit, and also because the sun's come up now and it makes it look a lot nicer.
It does. So we can see the first athlete looking to come out the swim, almost ready to start her next lap, and then the two two following fairly close there. We think that's Amanda Felder in there, perhaps.
Yeah. But look at the sighting is far better.
Yeah, and we can see the athletes choosing not to follow that line as well, and sort of making their own way in. Usually you see athletes sort of sitting on each other's feet to get that sort of drafting effect, get pulled through the water a little bit.
And this is Daisy, isn't it?
This is Daisy out the swim first, off onto her second lap. She's already pulled out a big lead there.
That is a big lead over just 200 metres.
Just 200 metres, so she'll extend this on her next lap of the swim, and it'll be quite tough to catch her, I think.
We can see that Michał is the organiser from the XTERRA race in Prachatica, and it was in the Czech Republic that they conceived the idea of the short track. He and his father working closely together, they decided to go for this, and it's a great way. Is that Marta Menditel?
That's Marta just out the swim there.
Oh, it's a good swim from her.
That looks like Lizzie just gone around there as well, Luan Davies on. So all the athletes that I perhaps wouldn't have thought would be so far up are actually having a really good swim there.
Oh, look at that! All the work is underwater.
Yeah, she's got a nice stroke there, and she'll just be settling into her own rhythm now. She's not got anyone else around her to interfere with the stroke, so she'll just be pushing on.
It's the reach. It really is a good catch she's getting there.
Yeah, lovely shot of her swimming there. So the water looks just beautiful, doesn't it?
It's crystal clear out there. The fish are quite large. Apparently, there was a bit of concern about the size of them yesterday.
All right. And just making that turn around the buoy, she'll be heading back soon, and then we'll perhaps get a time check for how much time she's managed to pull out on the rest of the field.
Yeah, you can follow there's a live tracking available. If you go to the XTERRA page on Facebook, you can certainly pick up that live tracking link. It will give you the opportunity to choose either the World Championships or the short track.
So it won't be long now before these athletes start to make their way out of the water and start heading into transition. And even though it's a short and fast race, they'll still be wanting to be nice and smooth through that transition and not rush it. As soon as they start rushing, that's when things can almost go wrong a little bit. Yeah, so
that is a considerable. We've got 75, 80 metres there.
Yeah, so Daisy's got a little bit of time to play with now, so it'll be interesting to see if she decides to push on, which I expect she probably will do, or if she decides actually I'm going to use this as a bit of recovery and save some energy on this first lap of the bike course. But I think she'll be pushing on and trying to hold on to that lead.
Well, we saw her yesterday on the main race, the World Championships, and she was leading on the bike for a considerable time. The cameras couldn't get to some of the toughest sections on that climb. And they really were quite challenging. Also, with the roots and the mud and the rocks, that was another area we couldn't get the camera team to.
Yeah.
So for her to demonstrate that she's got not only swim power, but also bike power and bike skills, this could be a huge opportunity for her.
Yeah, she's certainly got built up a really good lead there. So it'll be good to see her nice and smooth through transition out onto the bike. And we'll see how she gets on for the rest of the race. So there she is, Daisy Davies, first athlete out of the water. Fantastic swim there.
Lots and lots of the athletes have stayed on. We've got families from all over the world who've come here with their partners, fathers, sisters, husbands, wives. It's been great, the atmosphere here. So into the transition area.
Yeah, so she'll be looking to get that suit off as fast as possible and get out onto her bike. And we should start to see some of the other athletes coming in soon as well. That's quite the big lead that she's managed to build up. So she's choosing to put her shoes on in transition here.
Is this a personal choice, or is this something that you would recommend?
It's a little bit of a personal choice and a little bit of what the course dictates. If you're straight out into a technical downhill or into some corners, the last thing you want to be doing is putting some shoes on. So
we saw some of the elite losing shoes yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah. So as soon as she's got on the bike, she's ready to go. So she's not really used up much time by putting her shoes on in that transition area.
And will the athletes be using the same bikes that they had yesterday, or would they choose a different bike for this sort of intense short course?
I expect most of them will be on that same bike as they were on yesterday, so they've spent a little bit of time cleaning their bikes last night, getting them prepped and ready again for the race today. I think saw Sandra in transition there, so she must have had quite a good swim, and she'll be looking to chase that gap down.
We've got over 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's quite a big distance that she's managed to get before we've seen the next athlete come out now.
40 seconds.
Yeah, and Daisy's riding really well here, that first part of the course. And here we have Amanda Felder, Sandra Meyerhofer both making their way out of transition out onto that bike course.
Oh, this is incredible. This is a minute and 15 at least.
That's quite a big gap.
Oh. So Sandra Meyerhofer didn't have the race she wanted yesterday. As European champion, she came here to race in her own back garden, effectively living only very, very close, within 2 hours, I think. And it didn't happen for her yesterday. But she wasn't particularly, well, I suppose internally, to herself, she might have been devastated, but she was very positive. She was, the smiles were always there, and giving great support to the other athletes. But today may be the opportunity for her to really make her mark. But she's got a minute and 15, minute and 20 seconds to try and make up on Daisy Davies, who yesterday certainly showed she could ride.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it will depend on how the athletes are feeling after racing yesterday as well. There's some really tough, punchy climbs on this bike course. So if you're carrying a little bit of fatigue, or you've perhaps not recovered as quickly as you thought you might have done, that's really going to sting your legs today. So you can see a big group of the ladies all sort of making their way out onto the course now. So we should have some nice close racing. And Sandra's already put a bit of distance into Amanda there. She's making her way forwards.
It's the grass has dried up significantly compared to yesterday, so I should think that the athletes have been out here this morning. We've seen them riding around, just trying the various jumps and the climbs.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to change your tyre pressures for this, aren't you?
Yeah. So the grass is nice and grippy now, so they're not having to worry about sliding around too much as they were yesterday. So we should see a nice fast bike course, and we just saw some of the little features that there are on the course there. I imagine most of the athletes today will be taking those little ramp jumps to go down, but there's also the B-line option where you don't lose too much time by going around them, but it's a little bit slower if you're not wanting to go off those jumps.
We're going to see the athletes race soon, coming into a section where we saw the children mucking around yesterday.
Yeah,
I think they were inspired by the World Championship, and you could see the kids on the bikes doing the little jumps, and we're taking the elite through there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice little pump track section with some little rolling features, and they're fun to ride, whatever.
And here we come. This is
whatever
the
age you are. So some more little wooden features there, and then she'll come round and head on into this little pump track here.
And there's a couple of areas here where you can overtake if they're very close, but Daisy Davies doesn't have to worry about that just at the moment. This must be quite disruptive.
Yeah, it's finding flow and finding momentum without having to put too much work in. So really pumping your bike around, getting the wheels moving, but without too much effort. And Daisy will nearly be coming in to complete her first lap now, but I think Sandra's managed to close that gap a little bit.
Yes, you can see she just went past her there.
So she'll be making her way forwards, and I imagine Sandra will be wanting to close that gap as quickly as possible. So here's Daisy just heading from her first lap of the bike.
And in the background you can hear our wonderful commentator, Chun, who's kept everybody busy and active. He seems to have so much energy.
Yeah, so that's Sandra just through that little skills area there. So she's definitely pulled some time back here, but I don't think it's much. So Daisy might find herself out the front for most of the bike course here. So that's lap number 1 done on the bike. They've got 3 more to go, and Sandra's really pushing on here.
There's a greater determination you can see.
Yeah,
the body
she's riding really aggressively. She's definitely wanting to get to the front of this race.
Just trying to get the splits up to see what sort of distances.
And there she goes over those wooden ramps.
And here she comes to go past us.
So this is our race leader, Daisy Davies. Fantastic swim, and she's still out the front by herself. So really short and fast racing here today. And these along the beach here where they're taking the athletes, that's not fast to ride on.
No,
that really zaps the energy out of your legs.
And it's quite uneven, and the cambers are really quite difficult. So then you're going for some areas are quite compacted, straight onto the grass, and then you have this technical twisting, turning section. And Sandra just got that's not much of a difference, I'm afraid. That's pretty much.
Yeah, so she's just coming onto that beach section now. So she is closing that gap.
Not as much as I think she'd hoped for, really. Now, with regard to taking the win here, and who might, it's going to be we think it's going to be a straight battle between Loan du Voisin and Alizé Patiers. Both are close enough on points to take a win.
Yeah.
And to take the money.
It's all to play for today in this women's race.
And bringing Daisy Davies into the mix has absolutely thrown it into the air. Look, she's keeping an eye out. She's quite a tactical approach. She's looking over her shoulder just to make sure where she is, where the threat is. Now this is a very high section.
Yeah, this is a tough climb. This. I think on these punchy climbs, if you're not feeling it today, that's where you'll lose the most time, and it'll give the other athletes opportunity to come back again. But no, the two athletes in the running for the series today will be Buildup and Alizé Patiers, and I think Loan usually makes her way forwards on the run, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see much of her until it comes to that run section of the course.
With Daisy pushing the pace like this, it's stretching the field out. Sandra is trying to stay with her. That's stretching the field out again. And if Loan doesn't keep an eye on the way that the race is unfolding in front of her, she comes to the final section where she's got the pace and she's not got enough distance to use her run pace. And also, her race yesterday really wasn't the best one for her. Perhaps she's in a better condition now to use the run pace. But again, if she's not there, she can't make up that distance.
Yeah.
This is a support around the course. We can hear it where we're sitting. And the support for Sandra Meyerhofer, I think many people who came here, she had all of her family, her friends, they were all here to support her, and they saw the unbelievable happen. She didn't win the World Championships, but they're out in force today, and the support for her, I'm sure, is huge. There's also, for the British supporters, quite a few of the age groupers have stayed on, and we can hear shouts around here as well for Daisy Davies.
I mean, Sandra's had a fantastic year so far. She's won so many of the big events.
They are. Loan du Voisin there at the back in the red uniform.
Yeah, and Sandra's such a strong bike rider, and I know we talk about her being disappointed with coming second yesterday, but she's still second in the world, and I think even if she is a little disappointed now, she'll take that time to let it soak in, and it's really quite an achievement to be second in the world. So
yeah, we were talking yesterday about Sandra being a teacher, a sports education teacher, and I'm sure that she'll be going into her lessons soon and explaining to her pupils and her students how to deal with not getting the result you thought you would get.
Yeah.
Well, is that part of your coaching as well, your strategy? Because you run a coaching company, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you try to focus on things that are within your control, so as you call them, your process goals. You can't control anybody else's race, or if anyone else is having a good day or a bad day. So you try and focus on the things that you can do that will then mean that you've achieved something at the end. So it might be, I'm going to ride this technical section really well, or I'm going to be really fast in my transitions. Things that aren't impacted by anybody else's race result.
We saw the Jędryska Zemanova, and her performance in the Czech Republic was pretty impressive. She had a very good race there, She's the first to admit that she's not one of the youngest ones on the circuit, but look at the power. As a mountain biker, she was pretty impressive, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Have you raced against her?
I don't think I have, no. So a lot of the athletes now are athletes that have raced in the age group race, and they've slowly progressed and made their way forwards to now racing and being really competitive in the elite women's races.
There's Solène Benoit.
Yeah,
just
and
behind.
Davies just gone over there as well. So this will be a really strong pack of ladies that'll be. It'll be interesting to see if they work together to try to close that gap to the front.
And Marta Mendito there attacking the hill. So on to her third lap now. Daisy Davies looking quite comfortable out there on the compacted and not so compacted gravel area.
Yeah, so then closely followed by Sandra, and then I think it's that group that we saw, wasn't it, that'll be making their way forwards. So here's Sandra. She's definitely closed that gap. She's making her way to the front.
She really is working very, very hard, isn't she?
And
44 seconds. Okay, we've got the splits at last.
So it's still quite a big gap there.
Now, Alizé has also got the run pace, hasn't she?
She has, yes. Yeah, all these girls are such good all-round athletes at everything. They're not quite as fast as Daisy in the swim, but they're good swimmers, they're really strong bikers, and they're really strong runners, which is what's making this race so exciting. It's any of these athletes could all win. I'm not sure I'd like to predict it now. We
asked the athletes at the press conference what they felt about the short track, and it was quite interesting. They all trained for the longer distance, but they all said, we like this. Yeah. And if you think about the short track as a showcase event, giving the athletes and XTERRA the chance to show the world how exciting this can be, Conrad Stoltz, he started to play with the idea of this and said, well, why don't we have short track for our age groupers? We could have an eliminator. And he was thinking on his feet and coming out with these wonderful ideas. Have 30 athletes take part, the first 20 go through, then they race, and the first 10 go through. He said, we can mix this, we can make it much more accessible across the age groups.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is a really exciting format to race,
and it's an exciting format to watch as well.
I mean, we talk about it being short and fast, but the athletes training for a longer event, but they'll still do this sort of interval work within their training anyway, so they will be used to still working at.
And it builds up the power as well, doesn't it?
It does, yes. And I think even in the longer races, there's still sections of the course that require you to really push on and really dig deep. So they'll be used to this sort of effort, but perhaps not for quite so long.
We're just trying to pick up. Daisy Davies will be on her last lap now.
Not quite.
No.
Not quite. I think she'll just be coming around the pump track section now. Sandra's just come down that.
Yeah.
Down that descent. Yeah. So she's just heading into that pump track section, and then she'll be out onto her last lap of the course.
We're just trying to see if the tracking is working in our favour.
So it was quite a long race that these athletes had yesterday. So there's no way that fatigue won't play a part today. But they're all looking really strong here, and it looks like Marta just making her way forwards here as well. So a big group all working together here, looking to chase down Daisy. But I'm not sure they're getting.
No, I think they're looking at each other because for them this is the chance to get the points they need to take the series.
And if they start looking to each other, that's when Daisy's going to get away. So we might even see her hold on to this. This is.
If you look at the run pace that Daisy showed yesterday after that long, very challenging bike climb and descent.
Yeah.
How did that compare, in your eyes, as a coach, to Sandra's run?
Yeah, I mean, Daisy's is probably the first time, well, only the second time she's done a hard run off of a hard mountain bike, and that's very different to, I guess, the racing that she usually does in the Super Series. So she'll race the Super Series racing in the UK. which is a little bit shorter, a little bit faster. So this will really suit her, this style of racing today.
Let's see if we can get the camera team will move into transition just to see how that all goes. We saw Susie Snyder there from the States just a couple of seconds back.
Yeah, so Sandra's still fighting to get up to the front of the race.
Oh, this is the final lap now. So we miscounted the laps. Okay. A rookie error. Do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. No, so Daisy Davis on her final lap. Just try and get an idea of the time split there. Still can't see Sandra Meyerhofer.
No. So Daisy's having a really great ride here. She's really attacking this course, really pushing on, and
so that was 44 seconds on that last lap.
And she must have should have recovered well from yesterday to be able to really manage this tough course today.
And Sandra Meyerhofer is just coming into sight for us, so that means that it's possibly still around about 44 seconds.
Yeah,
46.
She's held that gap.
Wow.
Yeah. No, so Daisy's having a really great ride here.
So a 3 kilometre run, 46 seconds. That's going to be very
doable. But if Daisy runs the same way that she's riding her bike at the moment, she's going to be very hard to catch.
Yeah, that group there, Alizé Patiers, Laurent Duvoisin and Solène Boulois, all together, they are going to be really showing us a great battle in that final section.
And actually they're all the athletes that are challenging for the series here, so it'll be interesting to see if they bother chasing Daisy or if there's going to be some games going on between them.
I'm sure that they have sat down with the coaches and themselves to work out what they need to do to get the overall win, because it's the best 3.
Yeah.
Some of the athletes have lost out because of technical problems. Marta Mendito was going so well, but she had a flat in the Czech Republic, I think it was, and that really was it in Zittau. It really ruined the race for her. Otherwise, she would have been a contender. But the 3 there, Alizé Patiers, Laurent Duvoisin and Solène Boulois, looking at who is going to possibly take the bigger share of that €20,000 bonus. So 10,000 for each of the races. We started off in France, and that was a swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run. Terribly exciting. Can get chaotic to watch at times, but
so very, very different format to what these athletes have raced on before as well.
Each one has been different. We had the bike park in the Czech Republic, in France, which was incredible, and it was not just the elite, the age groupers and the children were racing there as well. And then in Zittau we had that phenomenal descent off the hill and the ramp around the lake, and now we have this.
Yeah, so we see that big pack of athletes now, just with the times up on screen. They're about a minute behind our leader Daisy. So Sandra's really pushing hard here to try and close that gap.
The run is not easy either, where there's a couple of really steep climbs. There's one section just behind us, which is where the athletes, where they come off the gravel and they come back onto the grass. There's a climb there. It's about 2 or 3 meters, almost straight up.
Yeah. No, it's a tough course here today.
So here she is in the pump it section.
Yeah, really strong ride from Daisy. She's going to lead into the run here today.
So Sandra Meyerhofer now heading towards the final section of the bike. She's heading towards the XTERRA village.
So I don't think Sandra's able to win the series today. So she'll be wanting to push on to get the overall win for this race. But it'll be Loan and Alizé that are looking to battle this out for that series win.
Yes, Sandra is currently lying in 5th place, and she hasn't got enough points to take the overall win. But look at this, Daisy Davis, Great Britain. A great weekend for her. We need more races like this in the UK, don't we? In fact,
we do.
Haven't we got one coming up? There was a secret. We kept it a secret last night, but everybody who was at the awards dinner got to see the news. And the news is, for anybody watching back in the UK...
XTERRA UK.
And where?
It'll be at Weston Park. Now you're going to test me on the date as well.
No, where is Weston Park? Tell us.
So it's in the Midlands. So hopefully fairly accessible for people all over the country to be able to get to. And
so there she is, into T2.
No.
Everything into the box. Wants to avoid the penalties. Shoes straight. That's quick. That's good.
Really fast on that transition. So she managed to take her feet out of the shoes while she was on the bike. So she can be really smooth, really fast. And out onto that run. So we've got 2 laps of 1.5 kilometres now. So it'll be interesting to see what this time gap is and if anyone's going to have a chance of overtaking Daisy here.
So she's again running. Nothing here is flat, really, is it? There's a couple of sections where you think it's flat, but in fact, right. We're now 40 seconds back plus.
Yeah, so these girls are going to need a really fast transition here, but I think we are seeing Daisy run away with the win today.
This is 58 seconds. She's extended her lead.
Yeah, so a minute and 3 kilometres. That's a really big ask. So I think actually we are seeing our winner here.
It's so exciting having the mix of relatively inexperienced athletes who are showing great potential. Oh, is that a cramp there? How have we got 38 seconds there?
Yeah, so it does look like that time's come down a little bit to Sandra.
Well, according to my watch, that was a little bit more than that, but okay, we'll see.
Yeah, so Sandra would have pushed really hard yesterday, so it'll be interesting to see what she's got left. it looks like she's really, really hurting there, but she's still running really well.
Her pace is
and
good.
And here we go. Here's Luan.
Oh.
Is there in third position.
That's the big threat behind, and she's looking a lot more relaxed in the run.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so Luan perhaps didn't have the best day yesterday.
Alizé. Is that Solène?
That's Solène, yes, so our world champion there in 4th position.
Again, so a mix of surfaces. We see this quite slippery. Well, it's been compacted a bit by the bike tyres, but it's not an easy surface to run on. The risk of a stone finding its way into your shoe and absolutely ruining the run. And then we go onto the grass, then the climb. You've got a complete mixture of surfaces.
Yeah, and the girls will probably be able to see each other a little bit on this course today, so they'll know a little bit where the other athletes are and what that time is that they've got to close. And I think we're going to see Luan overtake Sandra here very, very shortly and move up into 2nd position.
Okay, so coming towards the bridge now for Daisy Davies. Luan has overtaken Sandra Meyerhofer, so that's dropping her down.
Yeah, so if Luan manages to hold on to that position, she will win the series today. But whether she can catch Daisy, I think Daisy's got too big a gap at the moment.
Well, I'm looking at over 30 seconds now. Oh yes. Well, I've got the clock running here just to see when Luan goes past. We've got 43 seconds at least.
Yeah. So Luan's having a fantastic run, but I don't think it's going to be enough to catch Daisy today.
53 seconds. That's a 53-second lead for Daisy Davies over Luan. So I'm not quite sure what the split was, but my stopwatch here, watching them go past the commentary tent, Daisy Davies has a 55-second lead. But Luan is really powering away there. Now, the perception we have of her powering away, is that because she's overtaken Sandra and Sandra's slowing down? Difficult to see, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Luan's a very fast runner. We always see her making her way forwards on the run.
But a very economical run style she has.
So I don't know who's in 4th position at the moment, but that's our first.
I think it was Alizé. Yes, there we have Alizé Patiers.
Alizé into 4th there.
Again, Alizé, she doesn't look as if she's moving fast, but we saw her yesterday. It was incredible. And Solène as well.
Yeah, so really close with those 3 athletes at the moment.
So Daisy Davies coming in to complete the first lap. Again, getting into the XTERRA village, it's all ramps and climbs and bridges.
And I think Leslie Patterson's having a good run at the moment as well, so we might see her making her way.
I think Leslie
way towards the front of the race as well soon.
Her comment yesterday was she's put to bed all of the fears and panics that used to arrive with every race, and she said, "I've got the experience now. I'm going to enjoy it."
Yes. I think you get to that point in your career, don't you, where you learn to enjoy it more than put the pressure on yourself, and you accept it for what it is, and you just go out there and you have fun.
So Loane Duvoisin running now for the overall series win in 2nd place, with Great Britain's Daisy Davies just crossing the bridge about a quarter of a way into the final lap. Again, she's having a good glance over the shoulder just to work out where the threat is going to come from. Look, keeping a glance over there.
She's still looking nice and relaxed though.
She is, yes. Do you know, is her background swimming or running or bike? What is her background?
So she races the Super Series races in the UK, so the road-based sort of shorter, faster races. So that sort of racing will lend itself very well to this shorter, faster style of racing here today.
But how do you translate road racing to what she did yesterday? That's an entirely different set of skills, isn't it?
It is, yeah. That longer course, the tough conditions, both on the ground and sort of from the weather as well. It was a tough race out there yesterday, and she's shown that she's got a really strong skill set, and she can just apply herself to anything that's being thrown at her.
You're watching this now. Are you going? Okay, I'm stopping the watch now. 50 seconds. That lead is still 50 seconds for Daisy Davies.
Yeah.
Have you seen over the weekend here lots of things that you can take back for your own coaching program?
Yeah, I mean, it's the athletes just being resilient, isn't it, and just having that almost like a mental edge, I think, to be able to just push through tough times.
Yeah. As you can see here, that we talked about some of the A routes and B routes. The longer circuit to the left there would be the opportunity to avoid the jumps. Yes,
yeah. So I think most of the athletes today are taking that jump, but there is the option of that B line to go around it.
So this is a sharp descent for Daisy Davies.
Yeah, she's nearly at the finish, and she's going to win this today. I don't think Loane's going to close that gap.
No,
she's running really well. She looks really smooth.
Yeah, so Loane is just commencing that climb before the descent. What we'll do is that Daisy's gone past us now, so let's take a final check as she goes past. She'll be running up towards the main road. There you can see her there. So that's tarmac through a car park onto the riverside path. The lake here, there's a riverside path of 11 kilometres, beautifully compacted surface all the way around, illuminated, believe it or not. It's such a venue. You've got swimming, you've got biking. It's a town that gives itself over to biking.
Yeah.
And we heard yesterday 18,000 hotel beds for you to choose from.
Yeah, so Sandra's still managing to hold on to that third position here.
Right, that's 44 seconds. So Loane has taken 6 seconds out on that last lap.
Yeah, so this is Daisy just lapping one of the athletes here. She's what a strong race from Daisy today, led from gun to tape.
Well, it's a good statement from her, and it's a shame we didn't see her joining into the short track series a little bit earlier, because she could be the overall series winner.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps the experience of racing here this weekend, we'll see her do some more of the XTERRA racing next year.
And the whole programme of XTERRA racing is available now on the XTERRA website. You can travel the world and choose easy races. Well, are any XTERRA races easy?
I'm not sure you could call them easy.
Or you could go for the really tough one. I think the recommendation, if you want the toughest one, that's Scano in Italy.
Yeah.
There's a variety of races you can choose on XTERRA. Go to the website, have a look, choose your own, and book your holidays. But Daisy Davies, yes, she's looking very good there at the front. She can hear the cheers. We have two commentators. Tanya is doing the Italian version, and Chun is doing English, Italian, French, Dutch, and Mandarin. He's really getting the crowd going, and the noise as she comes into the finish. Look at that.
There we go. And she's done this by quite a margin as well.
That is an outstanding performance. Daisy Davies from Great Britain taking the win.
Congratulations, Daisy. So it'll be interesting to see what the time is to second place now, because usually this racing's fairly close, isn't it? But she's really stormed to victory here and pulled out quite a time gap over the rest of the girls.
It really is a surprise. We honestly thought we were going to see Alizé, Loan or Solène taking the win, but it's been so exciting having this mix. And yep, so Loan du Voisin taking the glory.
The second place for Loan today, and she will win the series.
That's a nice payout for her. But we talk about the payout. This is an investment over the years of training. For Loan du Voisin, she's been trying to balance her training with full-time study. Sandra Meyerhofer taking third place. The crowds are absolutely delighted by this, and I'm sure she will be as well. But Loan has finished her studies now as a physiotherapist. She was studying full-time and doing placements in the hospitals to complete her studies. But honestly, that's it. XTERRA family at the finish line.
And Leslie coming through in 5th place, so she's had a fantastic run today.
She's run through the field, hasn't she?
So Elise just making it through into 4th place. So looks like she's worked hard for that one with Leslie chasing her.
Solène, world champion. That was some performance by her yesterday.
It was,
really
yeah.
was.
Yeah. She said she had, I guess, one of the best days that she's ever had, Celine, yesterday.
To be crowned world champion on a course like this, with the mud, the slippery roots, the rocks. Yes.
So all of the athletes that we thought would be towards the front were at the front, with the exception of Daisy, who
really
stormed to victory and was really quite dominant today.
So Marta Mendito, also a good position for her. She must be delighted that she's got that finish, because Karina Vasler from Austria.
So Karina, another incredibly experienced XTERRA athlete, and she had a great result at Germany this year, didn't she?
She did, yes.
Third position.
Karina Vasler, she's been racing now for so long. So for Loan du Voisin, she finishes 2nd, and ahead of Patier. It will force a tie for the series win. My goodness.
There we go.
So
couldn't be any closer, could it?
The XTERRA computer will be grinding its way through the permutations to work out exactly how much money goes to each of the athletes. Goodness, what an exciting way for this series to finish. Again, we had such a variety of races. The one in France was really, really intense and fast. Then we moved to Prachatice with the incredibly tough climb in the woods. Then we went to Zittau with somebody said it wasn't that difficult, but it was really, really leg sapping because of the descents, the climbs. And now we come here asking the athletes to deliver once again after they've raced the World Championships. You're out on the course, you've seen the bike course here. how did you enjoy it when you rode around the course yesterday? Or
the short track course today, or the main?
Oh, you've done both, have you?
I've had a little look around the short track course today. No, the World Championships course yesterday was fantastic.
So for you, the descent or the climb was the best part of the bike course?
Oh, definitely the descent.
So just to put you in the picture a bit about Nicole, last race she raced was in the Netherlands. That was a 4th place overall. Best finish was in several best finishes. Several wins, in fact. We've got a win in XTERRA Greece.
So we've got
Let's have a
all
look
the
at the athletes who's coming through now.
Finishing now.
That's Jindriska.
So we need to get ready for the main race. So welcome,
Is that Maria?
That's Maria, yes. So she had a great swim.
Okay, I think we can go down to the finish area now, and Chun will have the winners.
Present you to Daisy Davies, winner of the 4th round of the XTERRA Short Track season. Daisy, what a win!
Yeah, it was great. I knew this was more sort of my style, coming from a short course draft legal racing background, so I used my swim strength to the advantage and managed to get a good gap and just held it on from there, really. So now I really enjoyed it. It was great crowds and good competition as well.
Nice. And so yesterday you were already first out of water. Today, what was your mental, your strategy before the race? Like just push as hard as you can on the swim.
Definitely, I knew my swim's pretty strong in this sort of setting with the other girls that are here, so just played to my strengths really, and knew that the course out on the bike would suit me a bit better than yesterday, and I just pulled it out of the bag really, so now I couldn't be more pleased with it.
Did at any point during the race, did you think about who's behind me, or were you just focused on your own race?
No, I think I was thinking a bit. I had people shouting the times at me, which was quite helpful, but I was just trying to keep pushing on and not worry about what's behind me until they caught me up, and luckily they didn't, so yeah, I can't complain.
And so what's the feeling to be able to win in such an incredible scenery?
Oh, it's amazing. Like in the UK, it's a bit, I'm not going to say boring, but it's...
She didn't say that.
I didn't say that, but yeah, it's amazing. The scenery is just stunning, and the guys here have put on such a great event, and yeah, couldn't be happier. It's just great to support the XTERRA family. It's great, really good.
Congratulations, Daisy. Well done and fantastic win.
Thank you very much. Thanks for putting on such a great show. It makes a difference. So yeah.
Back to you, Paul and Roger, and Nicole and Paul.
Chun can be forgiven. He's been absolutely flat out for the last few days, and not only did he do the opening and the awards, he's been commentating all day. So that's our results. Daisy Davies in the lead there. Look at that, a 40-second lead.
Yeah. So the one in second, Sandra in third, Elise 4th, and Leslie 5th.
I thought Leslie's run really took her through the field, didn't it? That was a strong performance from her in the closing stages. Our top 10 athletes there. This is the end of the series in Europe. We asked the athletes at the press conference whether they wanted short track to go global, and I think the decision amongst them was yes, please. So this is something that started in Europe. It was Michal in the Czech Republic who decided with his dad, let's try it. And I think we can look back on the season and say that it's actually worked rather well. But for we see the children here. The children were really quite impressive on their bikes, buzzing around the XTERRA visit. And that's the future. Down to the finish line again, we've got Chun with Noel.
Yes, after yesterday's race, I'm so happy to finish second today.
And tell us a little bit the feeling to be under the sunshine here around these wonderful Dolomites.
Yes, finally, not to be freezing. It's so good after 4 days under the rain. That was really good to have the sun and to be able to see the landscape. So yeah, great atmosphere and great landscape.
And so you finish right in front of your friend Sandra Mayrhofer. I guess it's pretty nice for you to end up like that, right?
Yeah, I'm so happy after some bad races to be again on the podium and to share the podium with Sandra. It's so good.
Thank you so much, Ryan, and congratulations.
Thank you.
So sharing the podium with Sandra, she's delighted with that. And when she realises what she's done and how much she might be winning, I should be even more delighted.
Yes. Yeah, so she'll have taken the series win today ahead of Elise on that tie.
Will they work down on finish times, or is it just on points?
I think they'll, if they finish on the same points, it'll be whoever won the most recent race between them. So Loan should take the win from today. And
it's equal money, of course, for the men and for the women.
Which, yes. But no, I think we need to get Daisy up to Scotland for some bike riding, because it's.
Well, yes, Scotland's where you're based, and that's where the.
Yes, it's not boring up there.
It won't be boring. Now, with the event that's going to take place in the UK, is that going to be a boring course, or is it going to be a challenging course? Do you know?
So it's going to be a course that will suit everybody. So it's the sort of course that if you push fast, it gets harder, but anybody can make their way around it. But from beginners to elite athletes, everybody can have fun on it. So it'll be a good course to appeal to sort of a wide market. We want lots of people to get involved in XTERRA, and the only way we do that is by making the courses accessible for everybody. So hopefully it'll invite a large crowd and some new people and some athletes that have been racing for a long time.
Hopefully, yeah. And the word will come back from the British athletes who've been racing here to hopefully enthuse people, and they'll hopefully take up the XTERRA challenge.
Hopefully.
But just see the elite men, they're just having a bit of a warm-up and making sure they can find the best route off the beach. Last-minute checks to the bikes. Oh, yeah, look at that. From where we're sitting, there's a very short walk to a cable car that takes you right up to the top. When you get to the top, there's a number of bike tracks all over I think they said there was 400 kilometres of bike tracks and trails.
There's
just
a lot.
in this region.
There's a lot.
We're going to hopefully get a brief interview with our third-placed athlete, fingers crossed, and then we'll be moving straight into the elite men.
But no, what a great show from our ladies today, though. And after sort of yesterday's race and yesterday's efforts, they all look pretty strong out there today.
Well, after the partying last night, this is remarkable.
Yeah, and a great result for Daisy there, just reliving her finish line moments. She'll be really pleased with that.
Now, with the elite women, we had the addition of Daisy Davies into the mix, which really threw the race open. In the men's race, we have Arthur Serrier, Maxime Chanet, Jens Nielsen and Felix Forissier. They are the only athletes who can win the series. Serrier, Chanet, Nielsen can all win the series by placing first. It doesn't matter where the other two finish. And according to the number crunchers, Felix Forissier could take the series win with a win if he wins in Molveno, but he needs to have Serrier, Chanet and Nielsen finish third or worse. So we saw that possibly the influence of the maths playing into the women who are behind Daisy Davies. It's going to be even more so with the elite men.
Yeah, it'll be a fast race today for the guys, and again, I guess like with the women's race, it'll be interesting to see who's still maybe a little bit fatigued from yesterday and who's fit, ready to go.
And in third place, winner of the short track today, or third place in the short track today, Sandra Meyerhofer. Second place goes to Loan du Voisin from Switzerland. And on the top place on the podium. Oh, here we go.
Ready with the champagne.
I hope they wait for Daisy to get there.
Okay, so today's winner, Daisy Davies. What a race. So it's not often you see someone lead right from the start all the way to the finish. There's usually some changing over somewhere, so excellent race from Daisy today. So well-deserved celebration. Luan's turn to get it in her eyes today.
Now this is Prosecco, not champagne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, look at that. 40 seconds and 1 minute and 2 seconds. We're going to move very soon straight to the elite men, but just before we get there, in the elite men's race, we've got a father and son combination. We have Josiah and Sullivan Middow from the States, and it was the father, Josiah, who won the battle yesterday. And we'll talk to you a little bit more about that as soon as we've got the intro out the way.
I might have been down, not out. It's on sight, you gon' figure that out. And I might have been down, not out. Only one thing I gotta know now is, are you ready for the comeback? You know we don't want that. Let me see them hands up all the way front back. Yeah, it's the comeback. Are you ready for the comeback?
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go, and welcome once again to Molveno. My name's Paul Groves, and I'm joined by Roger Serrano, who is here to help us with the elite men.
Hello, Paul.
What did you think of that race just now?
It was awesome. I had the chance to see it live, and it's an amazing vibe out there.
Look at the place; it's
fantastic
here.
It's fantastic.
We're going to hear about some of the athletes now. Who's
okay, our new world champion Artur Sereguies. We had a drink later yesterday, and he really wants to push it again today. Maxime Chanet, he had some mechanical problems yesterday. I'm pretty sure he's going to try to push the field today. Who else do we have here? My boy Jens Emil, a rock star. He yesterday had a chocolate medal, 4th place, and today he's gonna fight for this title. Felix Foissier, the Kido. We go. I'm gonna put some money on him today. I think he's gonna put on the show.
Let's hear from themselves.
If I'm not world champion, I think I will have. I don't have the English for this, big teeth, something like that. If I was world champion, I will play the game to go on a short track to give my maximum. But I want to celebrate because it's for me like several years of hard working and several months of like I live like a monk. Like I go on altitude alone for my last training camp. I just train a bit with Christian Blumenfeld because we are together alone. So I want to just have some drink and have some good vibes with XTERRA tribe. And there are so much friends who are coming for just see me. So I just want to play the game on a short track, but don't expect too much of me. But I will put everything left in the tank.
We have the same point with Arthur, so it's the same. The one who won takes all. So, but yeah, we'll see. Already made the 3 strong ones to secure, and now it's just a bonus. And yeah, if I can win the tour, for sure I will try and make my best.
It's the grand finale of the short track series in Europe, and it's been nice to have it as a series, and I'm really excited for the final, and I'm here to win it. Overall, it's on my hands, so it'll be big for me to win the short track. I've liked it from day one in Czech Republic when Michal announced it, so this is really exciting for me to do the short track.
I like short track racing. It's really, really difficult, but I love it. Yeah. It's faster, and I love run faster and bike faster, and yeah, short track is really, really cool and fun and great. Yeah.
So that's from the athletes. Roger, can you take us through the course?
Yes, of course, the same as the girls. We have 2 laps of 200 meters, and we see that if you're a good swimmer, you can already make some damage out there. On the mountain bike, we have a grass field, mostly flat course with steady short climbs that are a bit bumpy. So we saw the girls. Some of the girls were approaching it sitting on the saddle. Some of them, they were pedaling off the saddle. We will see who has the legs today to push more watts in the end.
But saving some for the run.
And saving some for the run, because then we have 2 laps of 1.5 kilometers. And the thing I had with the girls is that the run is not tough or long enough to give seconds back to cut the time. So the guys, they have the bike as a main sport today.
So this is our overall series ranking, and as you can see, Arthur Sarri and Maxime Chenet both at the front with 247 points. Jens Emil Sloth-Nielsen 230, Felix Forissier 195. So that's where it really gets quite complicated. Here they are on the start, and you can see someone's chosen not to go with a wetsuit there.
Who was that? Who was that?
Right to the left, our left of the starting. So there we see Sullivan and Josiah Midoff. That's the American father and son mix. And it was the father who actually beat the son yesterday, which I'm sure was quite satisfying for him, because Dad got beaten in the American Championships. So,
okay, Spinazzi.
Spinazzi.
Spinazzi with,
and one of the strongest swimmers.
Yes, yes, and he will probably be able to be out of the water without the wetsuit. And if not first out of the water, he will be on the top. 5 athletes for sure, and he's going to be the first one jumping on the bike.
Yeah.
Because the wetsuit takes at least 4 or 5 seconds. Let's go. We're ready. We're ready.
Okay.
Everybody concentrated. I think we have 10-15 seconds to go.
And I'm sure it's very tense there on the start. There's €10,000 to be won for each race, but the 20,000 pot at
on
the end.
On the marks. There we are. Oi, oi, oi. Oh. They're almost a false start, huh? So what were you saying, sorry?
So there's €10,000 to be won on this race and 20,000 bonus for the overall series win. Now, I spoke to Michele Bonaccina earlier on today, and I said, you led the first part of the race, but then what happened? He said, as I came around the wooden jetties, and I slipped, and that hitting the ground, getting up, he said it didn't hurt, but I was on the ground long enough for them to get so close to me that they were all on my feet. And they took the advantage of his great swimming, and that meant that in fact it wasn't him who led out, it was Franco Pesavento, which was a good swim for him. So we got a quick run down the list. We got Arthur Sarri, Arthur Forissier, Ruben Ruzafa wearing number 3.
Let's watch out this boy. Let's watch out this boy, because we have so many people getting close to there, and the guy from the inside is not gonna make it. He is getting there on the ropes. Okay.
Now, where is Spinazzi? He's about 6th place.
He's still there. He's still there. At the moment that he has a little bit more of room, he will catch some feet. Because at the end, of course, the wetsuit gives you a lot of buoyancy. But if you're a good swimmer, you can actually swim on the bubbles of somebody else's feet. Then at the end, you're swimming with them, right?
But it's completely different swimming in freshwater to swimming in seawater, isn't it?
Yes.
You sit lower in the water, and it seems that you have to work harder.
If you're a good swimmer and you know how to swim, the conditions don't influence you that much. And today, what I can see that today the water is a bit more rough. There are more waves because of the wind that we have today, and so it's a bit even better for good swimmers.
Is that Michele Bonaccina leading?
Could be Michele Bonaccina leading. Yes, it looks like.
Yeah, I think it is.
We've
got the weather conditions today are so much better. When you look at the mist and the cloud and occasional quite dark patches yesterday, it's absolutely glorious sunshine. The mountains are all visible. It's a showcase for the venue.
It is.
So coming out of the water now.
Probably Michele Bonaccina, and he's starting to create this small gap. Let's see if in the second lap he can make it
Michele, yes.
longer. Perfect. Who we have in second place?
Is that Sullivan?
I don't know. Here we go, Spinazzi.
He's made up place there.
We have a little bit like the sun is coming towards the camera and we cannot really see the faces very well. We'll go on the live tracking and
see how
keep
clear the
digging
water is
into
there.
it. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So we've got 25 elite men. And we've got another guest about to join us. A big thanks to Nicole for jumping in for the women's race. We're now going to be joined by one of the XTERRA legends. Roger, I'll let you introduce our guest.
Welcome to the commentary table.
Thank
How
you.
are you. I think you don't need introduction. You were with us today, yesterday. Sorry, everybody knows you. Conrad Stoll, the legend.
Thank you. This is super exciting. These short, fast, action-packed triathlons are definitely something I'm very excited about and very eager to be part of. Very exciting to spectate.
Conrad, did you get to see the women's race?
I saw most of it, yeah. It was very exciting.
It is exciting. It's a format that really it showcases off-road racing. I know it's incredibly intense for the athletes who yesterday raced the World Championship, which was a long, tough race. How do your legs feel this morning after? Because you did it as well yesterday, didn't you?
I did. It took me most of the day. Ask me how do I feel. I feel old.
But you look at these athletes that they were racing for the World Championships. You were racing in the organisers' race. I dare say the pressure was on you there, but their bodies must be aching now. There's a build-up of lactic acid? Or?
Yeah, also, but remember, they're born athletes. When the gun goes, you forget everything and you go as hard as you can. And even this is not a World Championship title event, I bet you everyone there is going as hard as they can. They're passionate, they're highly trained. They're serious athletes and they're all going there as hard as they can.
Did you party last night like they did?
Not all of them. I saw some of them went quite hard. I went home a little bit earlier.
Okay, our first athlete will be leaving the water very, very shortly. And we expect that to be Michele Bonacina.
Michele Bonacina, yes, is going to be out of the water, and I'm really excited to see Spinazzi that is not wearing a wetsuit. If he can close this gap right on the transition. What do you think, Conrad, about this format?
I love this. I want to take this to South Africa. I want to do it myself.
Yes,
I want my kids to do it. I want amateurs to do that, not only professionals. I think this is a really cool aspect of the sport, and I would love to see this sport grow.
That was Francois V.
Yes.
Sponsored by Zogs and doing a bit of work there for Zogs, coming out in second place. Jules Dumas from France, I think. Lukas Kocar.
Lukas Kocar. Now we see him on the transition, and also Maxime Chanet. Felix Forissier.
Just behind Franco Pesavento.
And Lucas Spinazzi, that didn't have any wetsuit, and he's going to get out of the transition, I think, in third place.
Arthur Saurier in 9th, and
Francisco Serrano in 10th place.
So that goes to show what benefit there is. Is that Lukas Kocar, no?
No. This is Francois V.
That's a good attack from him already.
Probably the other guy was putting on the shoes, and Francois V had already the shoes on. So we see here Francois V now crossing in front of the camera.
Jules Dumas.
Jules Dumas, that he had the best swim split yesterday. And so we see Lucas, Spinazzi and Bonacina, Maxime Chanet starting the shoes up.
This is a lot closer than the women's race.
Yeah, tell us, Conrad, how do you think you would have done it racing short track against this field in your best days?
In my best days, this would be my game. I'm 85, or when I was racing, I was 85 kilograms. So I'm very heavy. I like short distances. I like going fast. The longer races, the standard XTERRA for me was quite an endurance test. Where this short track, I can go as hard as I can, and it would really suit me. So I would have loved to do this kind of racing. That would have been my preference.
Okay, cool. Jens Emil coming out in 20th place there. He's got a bit of work to do, but he was just behind, not far behind Ruben Rosafa. But we've seen Jens Emil carve through the bike course, haven't we?
Yes. So he had a swim split of 6:33, and Bonacina. I'm gonna try to.
Scott Anderson came out well. He's in 13th place there. Scott His mum and dad
So
also racing.
he's almost a minute down, which is not a lot, I think.
No.
Which is not a lot. So we see Lukas that I think he's a bit tired from yesterday. He's not attacking the way that he was attacking in Czech Republic a few years ago, a few weeks ago. So I think he's going to be a little bit more conservative today. We will see.
Have you had a chance to walk the course, Conrad? Have you seen or ride the course?
Actually, I rode that part, the part they're doing right now. I took the jumps there, and it's one of the favorite parts of the race is being able to take that jump. If you go far enough, you get quite a nice landing.
Yes, we've seen that in the short track. XTERRA has been trying to improve the technical difficulties and building up ramps and corners and wood stuff. Do you think that we have to keep pushing to increase the technical difficulty on these aspects and at some point match the mountain bike World Cup?
I think so, yes. For the elites, it makes it spectator friendly, it makes it more challenging. It really adds to the quality of the racing. Building features and building obstacles, it really adds a really interesting aspect to it. If you maybe incorporate amateur racers, it makes sense to maybe take out some of the more challenging obstacles.
Yes.
There's a section they're going to come through to in a moment, which it takes them through where the kids were playing yesterday.
Yes.
And it looks
track,
relatively easy, but I think when you hit it at speed, how disruptive is that?
Especially because it's like a small standard kids pump track, and normally pump tracks are built for BMX wheel size, which is like half of a normal 29 wheel. So in that speed with this kind of bike, it makes it a little bit more challenging to go through it.
That section you just saw there are two approaches. So if we have this pack that we see now of the elite men, there's an opportunity to overtake there. That's one of the few parts of this section where they can.
So we've seen that Lukas is starting to create some gap there on François V, and it looks like that he took it a little bit easy on the first meters of the bike. And now he's starting to push, flapping those biceps.
Maybe he's playing to his strength. He's a big, strong guy, so it's in his interest to really go hard on the flat sections and maybe preserve energy on the not preserve energy, but on the climbs you won't be going as fast as the smaller guys.
He seems to consider the pain barrier as something that has to be destroyed.
Yeah, as long as you create an exposure to a feeling, then you get used to it. So the harder you race, the harder you're able to hold the pain. But yeah, we know, as you said, Conrad, you're completely right. I mean, it's a guy that has a lot of power on his legs, and he proved it in Czech Republic. He destroyed everyone during the bike segment, and he looks like he's going to do it today again.
Nice, big, strong guys go fast on the flats.
Yes.
So he's moved comfortably into the lead there.
Let's. I have to say that yesterday the after race party was really good, and a small secret is not all the athletes were there. So some of them really took it very professional. They went to sleep and probably are going to be the ones showing more performance today. So waiting here to see how it's developing this leading pack of the race, and waiting for maybe Ruben and Jens Emil to start joining this bike front groups in maybe the end of the third lap.
Well, Jules Dumas there from France, a top 10 finish in Portugal. Is he the sort of athlete you expect to find in this position already?
Yes, I mean, yesterday he showed a really strong swim. I mean, he was first out of the water yesterday, I think.
It was Pesavento.
Pesavento yesterday.
And then him.
And then him. Yep. And we will see how he can handle, these extremely strong bike laps.
So Federico Spinazzi in third place after the first lap of the bike. Arthur Forissier just leading his brother Felix. Did he clean the bike yesterday? Because that was the bet, wasn't it?
I didn't ask, but for sure. I mean, if you do a bet, especially between brothers,
This is a lot more compact. It's going to be a real battle on the final stages. But if they let Lukas pull away, he is strong enough to run through that final 3K. But with Felix in that group, of the runners, okay, Arthur Serrier, probably the fastest runner on the circuit, normally. I don't know how much of a party he had last night.
A lot.
After having been a monk for so many months.
Yes.
But Lukas, we saw him in the Czech Republic. It was a really, really powerful run from him.
Yes, as I said before, I mean, I could sense in the women's race that the bike split today is way more important than the run split. There were a lot of difference on the bike, but not on the run. So I guess that for the men, it's going to be more or less the same. If Artur is not really close to the front pack by the end of the bike, I think he's not going to run around. Also, we have to look how the chasing group develops, especially with Ruben and Jens Emil pushing so hard from the back. And
well,
the faster they approach the chasing groups, the faster they're going to go to the front.
Well, we've got a 15-second lead. Lukas has built up a 15-second lead so far.
I would say that for these guys, at least they need 30 seconds to sit comfortable in the place. Less than 30 seconds. It's a race that you can see in front, and you can have references, and it's very easy to overtake a little bit. So you said, Conrad, that you would love to have this format in South Africa, huh?
Definitely.
Okay.
Is this something you would build into the race, perhaps to start a...
For our first year, this is our first year. Next year is our first year with XTERRA, so we just want to do the basics right, which is the full distance, the sprint distance, 3 kids races, and 3 trail runs.
Mm-hmm.
If we do that right, then in the next year we'd love to incorporate the sprint racing.
Well, you're looking at the athletes here. These are the ones you want to invite out there to really test it.
I'll definitely put Kocar on the list. We need him. He makes it look good.
You have to make sure that he's not acting in Hollywood, because according to Chun, this guy's a Hollywood actor as well.
Look at the gap. He's really blowing them apart. I was wondering if the chase pack was maybe playing a tactical game, waiting for the run. But if they wait for the run, he's going to ride away from them, and they're not going to catch him.
Mm-hmm. I would say that more than 25 to 30 seconds, it will be a very comfortable position for Lukas, even though Felix is approaching. So starting the third lap now, athletes going through the transition area.
And of course, also transition is actually the 4th discipline. Being really good at changing from biking to running and from swimming to biking is a very important part of this race. So that also seconds to be made there.
And we saw it on the very first short track event of the year. We had a multi-triathlon. It was swim, bike, run 3 times. Mm-hmm. Swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run. So we had 7 transitions, and it was amazing. So I have to say it was
if you
amazing.
lose 3 seconds every time, it's the difference between first and fifth,
exactly.
you know?
Yes. Yeah. We see Maxime Chanet pushing him the second chasing group with Felix and Bonacina.
Is this
and
Ruben?
Ruben, with the elbows out and full gas.
Ruben knows he needs to come back on the bike. If he wants to do well at this race, he needs to ride hard, and he needs to get through that group and make some time.
Yes. I think guys like Ruben, guys with a lot of experience in mountain bike, they are able to put power in every single pedal.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
They don't take moments off, and at the end, the power output at the end of the bike lap, it's way higher than the others, because the guys who don't have experience in World Cup mountain biking, sometimes they take corners without pedaling, and Ruben is pedaling there.
He pedals
everywhere.
Yeah. This course seems well suited to dual suspension bikes. It's not very smooth, it's lumpy, it's bumpy.
Exactly,
if you can sit down and pedal everywhere, you're going to definitely get some more pedaling in.
And also the conditions are completely different to yesterday. The grass sections have dried out quite a lot. There's no mud.
Yeah, in the commentary we're sitting here in shorts and t-shirt. Yesterday was puffy jackets and beanies. It's crazy how quickly the weather changes.
But I think it's nice to have these 2 weather conditions. I would have preferred a little bit more of sun yesterday, but it's also really nice to have a little bit of rough and tough conditions. Makes the videos and the pictures way more epic.
It makes it memorable. Fantastic memories. I had so much fun yesterday sliding around on the mud, taking lines I would never have taken. I took the craziest lines to get around people yesterday.
It's a shame we couldn't get the cameras to all parts of the bike course, because it wasn't an easy course, was it?
It was spectacular. It was really crazy.
Okay, here we have now a group of 5 people leading leading the chasing pack, and we see that Lukas is still flying alone. Huh?
He's creating distance between him.
It looks like he's resting a little bit, actually. Is this the last lap on the bike? It seems like he's resting his legs a little bit, maybe catching his breath, getting the lactic acid to clear a little bit before, so he can attack the run.
Nearly 20 seconds now. He's added 5 seconds to this. But Ruben can change that,
yes,
that dynamic,
Ruben can
can't
change
he?
that because he's on the hunt, and he's approaching this this chasing group before starting the last lap. So probably he has a chance to get away with these guys if he keeps pushing like this, and maybe close a little bit to Lukas.
I noticed Lukas, as he was hitting the corners, is almost as if he was pulling the handlebars around. Is that a technique that will take you into a corner and get you out of a corner better?
Heavy feet, light hands. When you go into corners and dips and everywhere, creating more traction by being heavy feet.
There's a good tip for you.
At the end, what you want to do is lower as much as possible the weight of your body to create a lower gravity mass. Therefore, you can turn a little bit faster and put more traction on the wheels. I have to say, we bet with Paris Fehmarn a little bit on the race today, and I put my money on Ruben. So. So Ruben, please.
What was the odds?
Okay, so we see. I think that Ruben is already here on the lead. No, this is still Artur. Ruben is yes, but now it's in the middle of the group. It won't take long. After this wood section, he will start pushing this group.
Well, he's got to try and get that group to try and pull forwards and save 20 seconds on the final lap to get anywhere near Lukas. Because if Lukas carries on with this pace, he will add another 5 seconds to his lead. That will give him a 25-second lead going into a 3K run. And we've seen Lukas running. Lukas's pace, is that stronger than Ruben?
Okay, so we have them 16, 17, 18 seconds behind Lukas, and also Ruben. Ruben is 20 seconds behind Lukas, which puts Lukas a little bit in a compromised situation. He should not take it easy now on the 4th lap, because if Ruben sees him, he's for sure going to go catch him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
By the same argument, will Lukas look over his shoulder? Because the course does lend itself to look at your opponents.
Yeah.
Will he look and see the threat and start to push the power even more?
It makes sense. When I was racing, I always wanted to know exact splits. Some athletes like fake splits, and some people like real splits. And I always told my wife, please don't lie about the gap. Tell me the real gap.
If you don't know the time, better don't say it.
Yeah.
Because yesterday we saw. Oh, what happened here? What happened here? I think we have a small mechanical problem. Maybe.
Is that the saddle?
I don't know. Maybe the saddle is not going up. No. Everything looks good now.
No, it was the saddle went down. He had that trouble in.
No. In Czech Republic, I had the feeling that his dropper pause was not working, but he was just basically, he went down on the technical section with his saddle out, and he just kept pedaling through the woods, standing up, and like without using the saddle. He forgot about the saddle because he was standing up the whole time.
I've just seen the pack go past, and Scott Anderson is in front of Arthur Serrier at the moment, which for Scott must feel wonderful. I'm sure his mum and dad are standing out there somewhere shouting and shouting. Yeah. So Lukas
looks like he's looking down on his back the whole time.
Yeah, something's not right.
Yeah. How much is that going to take out? Yeah, there's a glance.
I don't know.
Right. He'll be coming past us in just a moment. Just to the left there is the TV position where we are.
And here we see Ruben already.
Look at that.
Oh my God, he's going for it. Okay, good.
It's very tactical attack, trying to get away from the group, make some time.
And don't let follow your wheel.
Yeah.
So we see that now Lukas is in a little bit of a complicated position.
It's still 18 seconds.
Yes, 18 seconds, and Ruben probably caught now, I don't know, 4 or 5 more. Because,
who's the fastest runner in this group? Maxime?
In the chasing group?
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Felix?
Yes, probably Felix.
Maxime?
But no, I would say like Felix or Arthur.
Arthur's too far back.
We have to have in consideration today what happened last night. So some of these guys, we went for some drinks and some not. So today it's not it's not a good day to take a lot of references. So we will see what happened.
Yeah, his chain was sticking.
Oh.
It's maybe some mud from yesterday. Maybe he didn't have a professional bike wash or a professional mechanic to go through his bike, because there was a lot of mud on my bike this morning, even though I washed it yesterday.
And we see him, Ruben, alone. He got away from this group, and let's see if he's able to close a little bit more this gap before starting running. I would say like 10-15 seconds he can make it.
He's got his feet on top of his shoes. He's going to be ready for a flying dismount. He's going to jump off his bike and run 18k, 20k's an hour off his bike. Just put his running shoes on, take his helmet off, and fly through that transition area. Every second counts here. It's critical.
We saw Ruben in Novel Aquitaine having some problems on the transition. Sometimes he gets a little bit nervous, even though he has been doing this for a couple of times. And we also see Jens Emil here, that he is now inside this chasing group. So he has chances. He has chances for a medal today. Yeah. So Lukas Kocar, 23 minutes 43 seconds in the transition area. And we will see now if Ruben, yes, okay.
But let's close. Look at the racking time.
That's so close, huh? That
16.
is, yeah, exactly.
So he's
14, 15 seconds, huh?
2 seconds on that last lap.
Come on, Ruben.
But
Jens Emil there, oh my God. And look what I told you, huh?
His bike fell off.
And the bike, huh?
Yeah.
Well, he's lost so much time.
He has lost so much time now, and all the gap he had, it's gone.
And also, Ruben didn't leave his cycling shoes on the bike. He had the cycling shoes on his feet, and he took it off in transition.
So we see how important it is to make a clean transition. Huh?
Yep.
He spent a lot of energy getting away from that group, and at the end he lost these 10 seconds by mistakes. Huh?
Yep.
It happened again. I told you it happened again on Nouvelle Aquitaine. His bike fell out of the rack 2 times, and today it happened again. So maybe it's something that he has to work on.
Put some sticky tape under the seat there.
Some sticky tape, or I don't know. But we see Arthur Forissier and Maxime Chanet.
16 seconds. That's
Felix
16 second
flying. Go, Jens, go! Yes. There we go.
So
I have some insights on Jens Emil. I had some information this morning, and we discovered that he likes to listen Kendrick Lamar to pump up in the morning before the races. So he's a hip hop fan.
This section here is a very steep climb.
If he ever wins the world championship, I'm gonna make sure that Kendrick Lamar makes a personal video for him congratulating for his victory.
So as they went past us, Lukas Kocar had a 16-second lead over the 2 very, very fast-running French athletes, Arthur Forissier and Maxime Chanet.
They see him for sure.
They can see him, yes.
They can see him, but we will see if he's able to keep this pace and to keep this small gap. Because as I said, on the running is not strong or long enough to make some big differences. And we see, look, Maxime is focused on it, huh?
And we also see Sullivan is just slightly ahead of Josiah Midov. The son is now turning the tables on his father. A bit of revenge from yesterday's race.
Let's see if we can have some splits now on the second group. If this camera can hold there and go back to focus the next guys.
17, 18 seconds. That is still a lead of 18 seconds for Lukas.
Yes, I think they're not going to close it.
Maxime has made the attack. He's gone past Arthur.
Yes, and now Jens Emil looks like he's catching up on Felix Forissier. Ruben Ruzafa looks like he's a bit struggling to keep with the cadence on the running.
So Maxime edging ahead here of Arthur Forissier. Yes. Yeah,
I think Lukas, if he doesn't do any mistake, it's going to be a win for him today.
18 seconds on 1 lap. It hasn't been changed.
No,
that lead is still there.
Yeah.
Is it possible for Maxime and Arthur Forissier take 18 seconds out over a
No, I don't think so. In one lap, no. I mean, he can blow up. He can blow up for sure, and then they can catch. But
oh, this is a battle between the two of them.
Yes. What is going to be interesting to see now is if Jens Emil is able to overtake Felix and go to catch Maxim and Arthur. And Ruben seems a little bit struggling now. But he tried. I mean, we can.
Ruben likes climbs. He likes difficult up and down, difficult courses, as opposed to speedy courses. And this is definitely speed, lots of speed.
But at least he tried. You know,
yeah,
he went to the group and he attacked. He went off the group, and unfortunately he had a small mistake. But this is what happens.
This is a real battle between the two Frenchmen, isn't it?
We're seeing a great battle here in between Arthur and Maxime. But I think if we have a bigger view of the camera, we will see right behind him Felix and Jens Emil also closing this gap.
The spectators are loving that area. There's a big screen TV right next to the Red Bull tent there, so it's awesome. You can stand there, you can watch the transition area, you can watch the big screen TV, you can really be part of the atmosphere. It's very, very exciting.
So we see that Felix already joined this group of 3 guys again, and we're waiting for Jens Emil trying to make this party a little bit more interesting.
Now they're onto a very flat section here, but then it rises. There are quite sneaky little rises here and there, and the change in surface must also be quite disruptive.
Yes, especially when you start running in flat, nice concrete, and you can really like speed and then you hit the grass with all these small holes and bumps, and your ankles start to be a little bit wobbly, and then you're like, oh my god.
Well, you ran the course earlier this morning, didn't you?
Yes, I went to the course, and it's not easy. I mean, from the drone point of view, it looks like nice flattened grass, but it's not. It's bumpy the whole way through.
And especially after the run they had yesterday.
He kept his lead, look, 17 seconds after 1 lap, so they didn't make any time at all. That's surprising.
Yes. And we see that this group of 3 men are now pushing a little bit.
Well, they've taken 1.5
and it looks like
seconds
Jens Emil
out
is not going to be able to close it. We will see what's going to happen with these 3 guys in the second lap.
Well, it's the 3 guys, 3 Frenchmen, 2 brothers. Interesting mix.
Where did Lukas finish yesterday?
I think Lukas was top 15, something like this.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how different athletes have different results at different distances and different courses. It just shows you how the importance of the course. And what makes this racing interesting, if it was swimming in a swimming pool or running on a track and on a flat track, it's always the same athletes who give the same results. But in this sport, every course is different and it suits different athletes differently. So that's what makes it exciting.
They are in fact catching. Look at that. Lukas is now beginning to struggle.
The problem here is like when you have a bad race and you're out of the race and you don't push yourself all the way through. And of course, the next day you play with a little bit more of advantage.
True.
So this is one of the XTERRA rules to try to avoid this kind of sneaky game. That if you don't finish the race, you cannot start on the short track the day after, because then it will give you an unfair advantage.
This is going to be a very, very close finish because Lukas is slowing down. He's beginning to struggle.
So Arthur Forestier is a little bit back to overtake Serreriez or Chanet in the series, but he could finish 3rd if he wins and Nissel finish 6th or worse. But I think Jens is not gonna drop back from this 5th
down
position.
to 14 seconds, so they are edging forwards. If he holds this pace, it's going to be for him to take the title.
And I think that I can imagine that the lactic acid these guys have accumulated now is incredible, because the kind of training they do for a 2.5-hour event is different from the kind of effort that they're doing now. They're not used to this amount of lactic acid, so this is not their comfort zone, and that's why the guys are really, you can see pain faces everywhere.
But you can see here their position in the race compared to Arthur Serrier is effectively pushing Arthur right out of the overall series win.
Oh wow.
Yes, I have to say I'm a bit impressed with Maxime and his running performance today. I think he's a guy that had a little bit of bad luck during the season, and he hasn't been able to show his full potential. Hopefully next year he's going to have a little bit more luck, and he's going to give us some real showtime.
The this is going to be exciting sprint finish.
Yes.
It's a little bit technical towards the end, so typically the person who gets into the finishing straight first has an advantage. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play it out in that last little technical twists and turns.
Especially because they have these two huge wood ramps, and if you're lacking of a little bit of power on your legs there, I mean your knee can bend and you can hit the wall with your face because your foot is not going to go up. So it looks like Lukas, the cadence is a little bit slower now, but he's going to take the win. Huh? He's going to take the win.
He's got it. Yep.
He's got it. So the last two short tracks are for Lukas Kocar. Huh?
Well, Czech
done.
Republic and here.
Czech Republic and here. Yes.
He had to miss sit-out because...
Oh, look at this.
Oh, my
Here we go.
goodness.
Here we go. That's going to be interesting. And then we see Felix Fogissier showing that he has a little bit more of legs.
What a finish. So close.
And very good run course for Maxime Chanet too, huh?
I think the XTERRA computer is going to be grinding itself into a mess here, trying to work out the overall placings. This is really one of the most exciting finishes we've seen in the entire short track series. Jens Emil taking the cheers and the applause there as he comes across the finish line. But wow.
they rolling, try to relocate all of the lactate that they have been producing. And if they lay too much on one side, everything goes through there, and then they have to go to the other side.
I'm really looking forward to the post-race interviews.
We see Lukas now struggling a lot.
I think they must have a bucket there to finish.
Oh my God, poor guys! I don't wanna be in their situation right now. You know, we've been talking about me, you know, my feelings about leaving the professional competition and then looking at this and wanting to go back to racing. But after this finish line, I think I'm out. I'm completely out.
Until next year.
Until next year. But look, everyone is like on the corners. Nobody could walk more than 5 meters after the finish line.
I think we saw them race yesterday, and it was Franco Pesavento from Italy just crossing the finish line now. We saw them racing yesterday. They gave everything yesterday on the tough course, and here they are now. And look at this, Sullivan Miro, he's now across the finish line in front of his
He beat his dad
father.
today, so they are 1-1 here in Europe, huh?
What a fantastic performance. Lukas Kocar once again throwing everything into the air. Really looking forward to the interview. Arthur Serrier, our world champion. He did say he would play the game and race.
Good.
I can't imagine what his body is saying to him at the moment.
Well, he's saying like, what are you doing? What do you talk to me like this? Francois Carloni.
And that's Scott Anderson there.
Scott Anderson from Germany. Kieran was
he was partying,
was the boss of last night. He for sure won. He deserved to be named king of the after race party.
3 Italians, 4 Frenchmen in the top 10.
But look at that. That was a 14-second lead he had halfway through the last lap, down to 3 seconds at the end.
Just shows you the sprint finish, man.
Yes. The sprint finish, and we also don't know if he was really under control. And the last 10 meters, he really like slowed down.
Yeah, just saved it. And
yes, because, but judging by the way that they all ended up on the floor, if I have a 10 seconds lead on the last 5 meters, I'm not sprinting at all. It's a 1 in for a second and for a minute is still a win. So very nice weekend we had here in Molveno, in the Dolomiti, Trentino, Paganella, and we had a lot of fun yesterday commentating the XTERRA World Championships, and I have to say that it has been by far the best live coverage we had from a World Championship race.
It's I think we had last night around about 90,000 views on the page, which is good. So share it, folks.
Yeah.
Send the video from yesterday, all your friends and family, and tell them what XTERRA is all about. Moving from Maui to Europe. Conrad, you've raced in Maui on a number of occasions. You've won it a number of occasions. It's no longer in Maui, it's here. There are plus points. I think we're going to go down to the interviews first, but I'd like to hear your reviews after we've had the interviews.
Sure. We had fantastic kids racing this morning. I was here early to watch the kids. I've got 3 little kids myself, and I'm also passionate about kids XTERRA, and it was so much fun watching the kids race this morning. There were 4 races of kids from ages 6 all the way up to 17 years old, and it was amazing to see the professionalism and the enthusiasm and all the kids running around.
Handling.
So we see we have the confirmation that Maxime Chanet has won the first ever short track circuit as a male in XTERRA, and that's good. That's really good.
Yep.
Cheer for him. As I said, he is a guy with a lot of potential, and I'm pretty sure he deserves a little bit of what he achieved during the season. He didn't have a lot of good luck, and I wish him a little bit more of luck for next year, because I'm sure he can do more.
That's a good thing about having a series, is it shows consistency. If you're able to perform throughout the season on different courses in different countries and different weather conditions, it typically.
This is the Taiwanese team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're down to the finish line now, and Chun.
Lukas Kocar, winner of the short track in Czech Republic, but also today in the final round at the World Championship. Lukas, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So, feelings winning with the sunshine and just smashing the competition away.
Oh yeah, I was a little bit upset from yesterday's result, so yes, this is the satisfaction for me, and yeah, really happy with the short track. I also said, Mikael, before the short track, that I have never been out of the podium in the short track, so yeah, I was really confident that I can make it again, and yeah, I finally win, so pretty happy.
So, absolutely fantastic bike, and then on the run you had a group chasing you behind. Did you think about that, or were you just...
yeah, I was just trying to focus on my run, and yeah, when I heard to the final lap that I have almost 20 seconds, I think it was like 17 or 18, yeah, I just say to myself that I need to run the same pace, but yeah, the problem came like 500 meters before the finish.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, my diaphragm just stopped working and I cannot breathe, so yeah, I just needed to slow down, and yeah, I just make it.
So, tell us a little bit, what's the feeling to win here at the World Championship for the final round of the short track? What's the feeling now?
Yeah, that's amazing. You see the mountains here, and yeah, really amazing.
And I think we have a surprise for you from Czech Republic, right? What's that about?
Yeah, that's the final race of XTERRA season. So this is the Czech antibiotics. It's from it's from the sleeves, or yeah. So cheers.
Congratulations to Lukas Kocar testing the Czech antibiotic. How is it?
Yeah, pretty good.
Thank you so much. So back to you in studio, and we're going to be soon with the second Félix Forissier.
Oh, wonderful interview, Chun. And don't forget, check antibiotics. That's what you need after a race like this.
Yes.
So that explained why his pace dropped off. Suddenly he found it really difficult to breathe. I think we're going to be going very soon back down to Chun for the second interview. But look at this. This is the view. This is the lake. There's an 11-kilometer cycle path, run path, all the way around it. Okay, we've got a bit of time there. So, Maui or Molveno?
Oh, can't choose. Maui is always, it's been iconic. It's the birthplace of XTERRA. I myself did 16 XTERRAs in Maui. So the tropical island with the warm ocean and swimming with the turtles and the dolphins, and it's been very special. But I think change is good also, because traveling to Maui, especially for Europeans and for even more for us South Africans, it takes you 2.5-3 days just to get there, and it's very expensive. There's a 12-hour time change. The course is very exclusive because you go up a volcano with an average of a 10% grade, so the small athletes love it. The second course that we had in Maui, the last wasn't rocky.
Okay.
So I think it's good for World Championships to move locations, and this is a fantastic
we're live
location.
with Félix Forissier finishing second now at the final round of the XTERRA Short Track season. Félix, what a battle to be second.
Yeah, it was really a great battle with my brother and with Max Chanet. It was really difficult on the run. I have to push and push and push, and I finish on the sprint with Maxime Chanet. I'm really happy to be second today.
So on the bike, we saw like Ruben Rouzafa at some point flying over everybody. The French athletes, were you guys working together a little bit?
Yeah, I was. It was difficult when Ruben come with the boy, with me, and with Arthur and Joe. It was really difficult. He's so strong on the bike, and me, I was a little limited on the climb, and I tried to stay with him, and I tried to push on the last loop, and on the transition I make a good in T2, and I'm happy. I start the run not far away, and it's good. Yeah, I'm happy.
What a great comeback. Was there also something about the bet with your brother, because yesterday he was in front of you, so you have to clean his bike for your entire life? Was it something back again today, because you finished in front of him? Is it then a tie and nobody cleans nobody's bike?
No, I know I have to clean his bike, but
not the entire life.
No.
One season?
No, zero.
Zero?
No.
Thank you so much and congratulations, Félix. Great performance. Back to you in studio.
Thank you, and take you to XTERRA.
A wonderful interview once again, Shun, and the emotion there.
Yeah,
absolutely delighted, wasn't he?
Emotion. I think he was still breathing from that sprint. 10 minutes after the race, he was still struggling to breathe and talk.
What would the heart rate be there, just out of interest?
Like at the max. I mean, I don't know, probably. I mean, these young guys are around 200 beats per minute at least. 198, 202.
Everyone's different with heart rate. It's genetic. If you have a small heart, it beats fast. If you have a larger heart, it beats slowly. Like my maximum has always been low, even when I was younger. Where you get another athlete who goes as fast, equally fast, who has a smaller heart, who needs to beat faster, that has a much higher heart rate. So actually, the actual number doesn't really matter so much. It's more the percentage of your personal max that you can maintain.
So that's something that people would, if you're training, you would need to look at that rather than following a scale of...
Exactly. Yeah. A highly trained athlete would do about 93% of his heart rate max, would be able to sustain that for half an hour. Anything, I think, good amateurs start at around 88% to 90% of the heart rate max, and the elites would go 93% of heart rate max.
So that old calculation of 220 minus your age, that's a fairly loose one. What's the best way to establish what your heart rate max is?
In a lab test. Okay. Go till you puke.
There you have it. From the experts, go until you puke in a lab test.
Fair enough. We see this guy with a...
Is this something you could do next year? To take instead of the drone, we could put you up there, couldn't we?
No. But I have a couple of friends who would do that. I'm happy working as a physiotherapist now in Zurich, and some of my most loyal clients are paragliders and jumpers.
This area is very famous for this parasailing, apparently, because in the hotel I'm staying, there's a lot of trophies where they have competitions, and they have acrobatics competitions and distance competitions. So it's obviously this valley creates some great wins for parasailing.
Well, the area is famous for Reinhold Messner, the legendary climber.
I'm going mountain biking tomorrow. The next town over is 5k from here, so I've ridden all the trails on this side of the mountain. And tomorrow, before my flight back to South Africa, I'm going to Underlaw, and I'm going to take the ski lift, and I'm going to try and ride all the trails before I leave tomorrow morning. So this is a fantastic place for riding.
So we are in the podium. We see Maxime Chanet taking this third place, and already with the bottle of Prosecco in his hands. Second place for Félix Forissier with this amazing sprint finish. mean, he's a guy that he has been mostly racing on the road and in the French Duathlon Cup. So he's a guy that he's used to lots of sprinting. Huh?
There's a bit of a premature.
What happened? What happened?
A bit of a premature eruption.
Okay. Hopefully it only happens here on the podium. Anyway, let's see now the ceremony of getting your eyes full with Prosecco. There we go. Don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your eyes. Perfetto. Very well done for these boys. Last race of the season. They all deserve a huge party tonight again, and tomorrow sleeping in, little bit of a headache, spinning legs on the bike, and heading home without pressure.
Good weekend for the French. French did really well this weekend.
Sorry again, you said?
The French.
The French, they did a really good job, and they have been doing a good job throughout the year, because we know that France has a very big influence on XTERRA.
Yep.
So a big thanks to Piper Vision for the TV images yesterday and today. And if you want to go back, ladies and gentlemen, and watch the entire short track series, starting in Zonrouille in France, moving to Prachatica, then to Zittau, and finally coming here in Molveno, the 4 short track races are on the XTERRA website.
Yes, let's go now to the highlights and say a big goodbye to everyone. Thanks for watching, thanks for being with us, supporting XTERRA, and see you next year.
Ciao, grazie.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. Thank you, everyone.